Have you ever heard of a man who simply refused to die? A soldier who laughed in the face of death, who considered war the greatest sport, and whose body bore the scars of countless battles. Yet he always came back for more. Meet Sir Adrian Carton de Wiart, a name that sounds like it belongs in a pulp fiction novel, and honestly, so does his life story. This man was a walking, talking legend of grit, determination, and an almost unbelievable ability to survive. Born in Brussels in 1880, Carton de Wiart's military career spanned three major conflicts: the Second Boer War, World War I, and World War II. But it wasn't just his longevity in service that made him legendary. It was what he endured. Let's break down the sheer audacity of this man's survival. He lost an eye in World War I after being shot in the head. Did he retire? Of course not. He simply slapped on an eye patch and carried on. He lost a hand, or rather part of it, after a shell explosion. Reportedly, he bit off his own fingers when a doctor refused to amputate them quickly enough. Yes, you heard that right. He bit off his own fingers. He was shot in the ear. He survived 2 plane crashes. He was shot through the skull. He was shot through his ankle. He was shot through his hip. He was captured by the Italians in World War II, but true to form, he made 5 escape attempts, even digging a tunnel with a spoon. Carton de Wiart genuinely loved fighting. He once wrote, "Frankly, I had enjoyed the war. This wasn't bravado. It was his genuine outlook." He was awarded the Victoria Cross, the highest military decoration for valor in the British and Commonwealth Armed Forces, for his actions in 1916 at WWII, where he led charges even after being shot multiple times in the leg and still managed to pull out shrapnel himself. By the time he retired, Sir Adrian Carton de Wiart was literally a patchwork of war wounds, missing an eye, a hand, and carrying shrapnel from head to toe. Yet, he lived to be 83 years old, passing away peacefully in 1963 in Ireland. Winston Churchill, who knew him well, described him as a veritable knight-errant. Sir Adrian's story is incredible, almost unbelievable. But believe it or not, history is full of individuals who displayed similar, almost superhuman resilience and defiance in the face of impossible odds. Their stories, much like Sir Adrian's, remind us of the extraordinary strength of the human spirit. Let's dive into a few more real-life tales of the indestructible. Our first story features Violet Jessup, an ocean liner stewardess known as Miss Unsinkable. Why? Because she survived the sinking or major incident of 3 of the most famous ships in history, all within a few years of each other. She was a stewardess on the RMS Olympic in 1911 when it collided with a warship, though both ships survived. A year later, she was on board the RMS Titanic when it famously sank. She helped passengers into lifeboats and was eventually rescued herself. And if that wasn't enough, during World War I, she worked as a nurse on the HMHS Britannic, a hospital ship that struck a mine and sank in 1916. Again, she survived, even after reportedly hitting her head as she jumped into a lifeboat. Talk about luck, or perhaps an unshakable will to live. Next up, we have Hugh Glass, an American frontiersman and fur trapper whose tale of survival in the early 19th century is so epic, it inspired the movie The Revenant in 1823 while on a fur trapping expedition. Glass was scouting ahead when he stumbled upon a grizzly bear and her 2 cubs. The bear attacked him viciously, mauling him severely. His companions, believing him mortally wounded, left him behind with 2 men tasked to bury him once he died. But Glass didn't die. Instead, the 2 men deserted him, taking his rifle and supplies. Hugh Glass was left alone, with a broken leg, open wounds, and a scalped head, hundreds of miles from the nearest settlement, Fort Kiowa. What did he do? He began to crawl. For 6 weeks, he crawled and limped, surviving on berries and roots, infected wounds festering, and pushing himself through hostile wilderness. He even allowed maggots to eat the decaying flesh from his wounds to prevent gangrene. His destination? To find the men who abandoned him. He eventually made it, a testament to sheer, animalistic will. Our final story is perhaps the most poignant and truly mind-boggling. This is the story of Tsutomu Yamaguchi, the only officially recognized survivor of both the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. On August 6, 1945, Yamaguchi was in Hiroshima on a business trip when the first atomic bomb, Little Boy, was dropped. He was about 2 miles from ground zero, suffered severe burns, and spent the night in an air raid shelter. Despite his injuries, he boarded a train the next day to return to his hometown. His hometown? Nagasaki. On August 9th, while at work, describing the Hiroshima blast to his supervisor, the second atomic bomb, Fat Man, was dropped. He was again about 2 miles from ground zero, miraculously surviving a second nuclear attack with relatively minor injuries compared to the first. He spent the rest of his life campaigning against nuclear weapons. These stories, from Sir Adrian Carton de Wiart to Tsutomu Yamaguchi, are more than just tales of survival. They are powerful reminders of the incredible capacity of humans to endure, to fight, and to find strength in the face of unimaginable adversity. They teach us about resilience, courage, and perhaps a touch of pure, unadulterated stubbornness. What do you think of these incredible stories? Are there any other indestructible people you know of? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more fascinating history and true stories.